You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, feel that. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Forex Trading Asia Daily Currency Call. So this is episode 288, the 11th of May. Yep, so this is the currency call where you will get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas and more. So this currency call is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. Here we will be going through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risk. A disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. All right, let's start off with the dollar index analysis by Scott. Scott Andrews from Forex Briefcase, Australia, to share his outlook on the dollar index. Scott.
All right, hi everyone, and we're nearly to episode 300 as well, so it's a big milestone. All right, so US dollar, now it did hold over 90, and it's been quite an interesting thing to see play out with how strong equity markets were on Friday, and then obviously the US dollar weakened significantly. But what it's looking like now is that the risk-off sentiment's back on, and really what we look to see here is the US dollar did hold 90. I talked about whether or not that would happen yesterday, and I said let's wait to see, I guess, how the market digests Friday's information from NFP, and it looks like it has, and it still sees that really the US dollar did not break through 90, and that I guess inflation is still a bit of a present concern. Now, I did mention to look out for Wednesday evening at 8:30 GMT plus 8 time with the CPI data that's coming out, but also if you had a check out of what Jin mentioned with the USD overview, and that it is something to watch out for with the Federal Reserve members. They are doing speeches tonight from, it looks like, around 22:30 GMT plus 8 time. So it'd be interesting to see what they say. It's counted as a bit of a medium impact to the market. So let's see what happens, because really it held up. So we got to think that the market has sort of seen a bit of value and has begun. We'll see if it really starts pushing higher, or right now on the 4-hour time frame, we can see, this time of day markets are not particularly enthused. But if we have a look at what's happening in Australia as well, we are seeing the equity markets, sell off a little bit as well. So it's definitely jittery, and the market's a little bit spooked by, I guess, issues with, CPI and what's going to happen. So again, I'm just standing by. I was watching last night. So in regards to a trade idea, let's just see what, the Fed members have to say. And then also with the inflation data that's coming out before we put together a trade idea. But it's definitely, let's just wait and see, because it could be a turning point here on the US dollar.
Okay, Scott, thanks for the dollar index analysis. So right now we'll jump into the currency in focus today, which is the euro. So we have Jin Dao Tai here, founder of LCMS Traders, a multi-million-dollar trader trading account with more than $14 million on a daily basis. Okay, yeah, Jin, pass the time to you now for the euro currency call.
All right, good morning, everyone. So Tuesday again, looking at the euro dollar, we've seen a lot of movements right across the board, but in particular the pound dollar. So how does this actually relate to the euro dollar? I will share with you on that a bit shortly, but things to consider as well is exactly what Scott was just sharing just then about the US dollar. It looks like it's a very low point right now, might bounce a little bit, but pay attention to what other fundamental drivers or sentiment that could be coming out to push prices, probably in the trending fashion, but let's look into what else could happen. So with that, looking at the news here on Forex Trading Asia, the economic calendar, today is not Wednesday, today is Tuesday, the 11th of May. We've seen a lot of news quite a couple of news come out, in particular for the Chinese CPI, the Aussie side. Later today, we have some German economic sentiment being released, and probably looking at a little bit of an upside here, possibly going from 70.7 to 72. Again, the German economic sentiment, although we try and look at the Eurozone as a whole, looking at the German economic sentiment by itself, because of Germany being quite a major player in the overall economic, Eurozone, it does have quite a big impact on the euro dollar as a whole. So, maybe some upside there later today at 5 o'clock. And then some US news, FOMC members speaking, a whole bunch of FOMC members speaking later tonight or early tomorrow morning. And then, we can see a lot of pound news, but the Euro CPI numbers being released after that on Wednesday. And then not much on Thursday, but on Friday, again, it comes back to the Euro, the ECB monetary policy statement. With this ECB monetary policy statement, possibly not too much changes coming out, no real surprises coming out from the Eurozone at this point. The rumor is that we're possibly going to see the continuation, right? The wait and see, be ready to take on new approach. But for now, it's a wait and see. Rates are low, stimulus are all there already. There's really not that much the ECB can do. So with all that in mind, not a lot of news being released. Economic sentiments today, ECB on Friday, and also some US CPI numbers being released, some US dollar data being released as well. How this looks on the chart here, the euro dollar on the H4 time frame, right? If I were to zoom it out a little bit, you can see that since the end of March, it has been on that upward climb. It's hit that 1.2145 level, dropped quite significantly from that point, and now is on the recovery phase. Zooming in again, just so it's easier for you to see, currently price is at about 1.2145, with possibly good economic sentiment coming from the Eurozone and from Germany, with not much changes expected from the ECB. What I'm actually thinking is that, look for the euro dollar to break above that 1.2167 level. Look for it to break above the 1.2167 level. You could have a 40 pip stop loss for a good 80 pip, 90 pip take profit level. 1:2 risk reward ratio up towards that 1.2261 resistance level. But bear in mind, 1.2261 is a very, very high point. I'll show it to you on the daily time frame. The last time we hit that, we came close to that, was back in Feb of this year, and then it dropped quite quickly. The last time it broke above that point was in Jan 2021, right? So it could come back to this point. I think that we possibly will see it climb up towards that point, but don't expect it to hit that point exactly or to break significantly above. Once it comes close, pay a lot of attention to it. You might want to close out that trade a little bit earlier than the take profit. With the euro dollar, with the expectation of the euro dollar to climb up towards the 1.2261 resistance level, this could also mean that we might see some upside to the euro pound. The euro pound over yesterday just dropped significantly from the 8651 level. down towards the 8580. Why it dropped so significantly is really because of the pound dollar here. I will show you briefly on H4. It went straight up above 1.4 towards the 1.4150 level. I'll tell you more about pound tomorrow, but at this point, you know why the euro pound has been dropping? It's because of the pound dollar. Looking at the euro dollar with that upward move, this might signal a recovery on the euro pound. So another trade idea here is that you could be looking for it to bounce off this 8580 support, 20, 30, 25 pip, 30 pip stop loss for a good 50 pip take profit level. 25 to 50, again, another 1-to-2 risk reward ratio there. Back up for the euro pound towards the 8651 level. But remember, if you're going to enter any trades on the euro pound, you have to understand not just what the euro dollar is doing, but also what the pound dollar is likely to do, whether it's going to continue moving higher or whether it's going to hit that the current resistance level and retrace back down. Pay a lot of attention to both the euro dollar and the euro pound.
Okay, Jin. Yeah, so actually just a quick question here. So you mentioned that Germany provides it's quite, it is a bigger contributor to the economy for Eurozone. So for the French CPI data released tomorrow, would you really actually put any emphasis on it?
Not a lot of emphasis on the French CPI numbers. In fact, not a lot of emphasis on the CPI numbers in general for the Eurozone, because you see that individual country CPIs put as a whole, aggregated as a whole in the Eurozone, the Eurozone CPI doesn't look very flash, and they are applying policies or interest rate policies and QE policies based on the overall CPI data. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to individual country CPIs. Look at the Eurozone as a whole.
Okay, thanks for that, Jin. Yeah, so I see Daniel and Scott putting in the trade ideas here. So just wanted to put in the disclaimer again. Any information shared during this session is not a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Okay, so right now let's get Daniel in. Daniel, trading coach at LCMS Traders. So Daniel, yeah, yesterday you guys went through a round of webinar coaching sessions. So would you like to share a little bit about that and see how our viewers here can benefit from it?
Yes, thanks, Jinwei. So yesterday we just had a group coaching sessions. I mean, we walked through what happened last week, and then guide through the current market conditions and what's going to happen the coming week based on the calendar, what kind of possible fundamental news will come in. Then we show how to identify trades, literally making a lot of trade ideas possible making profits together. Now, yesterday, what we really did was just to directly look at it. We look at the market there at that point of time, and with the current news, we looked at a couple of trade ideas. Well, one of the trade ideas we looked at was the New Zealand USD. Now, as already mentioned by Scott of the US index, how the strength is, Jin, as you mentioned already on Monday, it hit the resistance, really very nice, hitting the resistance here. And unable to break through. So now with last night, whatever news we have, the expectation could be that the US dollar could continue to weaken. Now, if it does weaken, then of course the trade idea, straightforward, based on the 5-step analysis of LCMS Traders, if we were waiting for it to break through the resistance zone here and then maybe above 0.7310, if it does break above, and then we could possibly look for a buy trade, for maybe a couple of 30 pips stop loss somewhere here. You can see here it's about 30 pips stop loss. We'll look for about 100 pips of take profit target. So looking pretty good to take a trade for the New Zealand USD. And of course, there were other currency trades. So do come in and join us for group coaching. Group coaching on Monday. Lots of questions asked on that day. Yesterday, just a lot of yesterdays about how do we look to a trade, when do we place a take profit target, where and what should they do. So a lot of this were answered and clarified there, really helping a lot of members being profitable and really understand how to trade the market consistently and profitably. Yeah, Jinwei.
All right, thanks for that, Daniel. So yeah, we have come to the end of the session, and I've posted some links in the chat. So do join our Forex Trading Asia free Forex Signals Telegram channel, and do subscribe to the LCMS Traders YouTube channel for the daily recordings. And if you are interested in joining the Traders Club, check out the link there. And if you're looking for a managed account service where you don't want to trade yourself, or you feel that trading is not right for you already, yeah, check out forexbriefcase.com for a managed account service. So yeah, with that, we've come to the end of the session. See you guys tomorrow for the pound analysis. Thank you and goodbye.